Are we live? Hello there. Is this live? Is this working? I think it is. Here we go. I added a little delay, so yes, it's working. Cool. Mm, let's talk about, or let me talk about, the Beach Boys archival releases that were released last December of 2018. If you are here right now listening to me, or just listening or watching this video later on, I am sure that you already know about what I'm talking about. So that is why I am not going to explain too much myself. I am not going to go these things track by track, or not gonna give you any kind of history lesson, because I am sure you are already aware of all that. You probably just want to hype this stuff with me. So, whatever, let's go. By the way, I have to try not to say whatever so much. I realized watching the video from yesterday later on that I said whatever like 115 times. Hey, Marcus, you're back. Welcome. Oh my god, I have an audience. Now I have to concentrate. Yeah, so let's begin. I was I was gonna do first separate videos of Wake the World and I Can Hear Music, and then of the on tour things, but I think I'm just gonna do this one casual discussion video. So sorry. So I don't have to keep myself so cornered and in a box. I can talk more freely and not have so much pressure of this thing. I'm gonna just take the volume down from my Spotify so that I won't accidentally press the play button and play copyrighted music over here. Then my channel would be taken down. But yeah, hey, how are you doing? What's up? Wake the World is obviously from the Friends sessions, and I believe that the Friends was very much a Brian Wilson / Murray Wilson project. I think I read somewhere, I think it was in the Smiley Smile forum, that Murray Wilson indeed had a very big hand, at least on a handful of these tunes, and in producing, especially in the studio. And you can hear Murray's voice in some of the session tracks, in the outtake things and beginnings and giving notes and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a bit better. I'm doing okay. The medicine is working. I don't think it's really like healing yet, but I think it's the medicine that I've been taking that keeps the pain away. I actually slept last night. I slept last night from about midnight till like 10:30 a.m. and then I woke up to a phone call, and then after that I immediately just slept again, and I slept till like 3:30 p.m. So I've been just mainly sleeping. Yeah. Anyway, Friends album is really an interesting album. It's always been one of my favorite Beach Boys records, and what really always surprises me, or just messes my brain, is the fact that the album itself is just, I think, 25 or 28 minutes, something like that. So it's super long, super long. What's the what the what's the opposite of long? Short. Oh, my brain, my brain. I'm not on my smartest moment right now. Yeah, it's very long. Long. It's a very short album, which is really weird, especially if you consider the fact that now that we have these highlights of the sessions released, there is a lot of stuff that could have been on the album that for some reason didn't get a spot on it. So I wonder what was the intention or the idea behind the fact that that Friends album, the actual album, released album, was kept so short. I mean, and I wonder how the album buying audience felt when they bought the album and listened to it the first time. Were they like disappointed? Like, wow, this ended already. Yeah, Murray sang the low bass note on "Be Here in the Morning." Yeah, I've read that many times, but I myself cannot like. I don't notice it. I don't hear it. But then again, I don't really know what Murray sounded like when he was singing. But I've always tried to like catch it, but I just don't. I don't know. Maybe if I'd know like the exact time code where it is, I could find it, but haven't been able to. What was I saying? Yeah, I was just talking about the shortness of the album itself, which always boggled my mind, but it is what it is. But anyway, Friends has always been one of my favorites. I was really surprised when I listened to it the first time around. I think I listened to it the first time actually on a vinyl record, which I bought, if I remember correctly, from London on my vacation. And yeah, it was just something completely unique. I hadn't ever heard anything like it, and if you are still listening and for some reason have not ever heard of this album and Friends album, you really should check it out. It's really interesting stuff. It's very minimalistic and very peaceful music, very beautiful, nice singing, and honestly, I don't think I've ever heard anything like it. It's completely its own thing. It's kind of like Wild Honey, but same time really different. It's very different from anything the Beach Boys did, except maybe Wild Honey. It kind of shares the same type of minimalistic thing, but and a little bit like Smiley Smile, I think. But the music, I mean the lyrics and the music itself is very peaceful. It's very spiritualistic and spiritual and just kind of very simple, I guess. But okay, thanks. I need to check that out immediately after I close down this live video. But yeah, that's really interesting. It would be nice to know what was the like, I like what was the story behind Mary's involvement. Like, did Brian ask him back, or what was the it would be cool to know, because I have no idea. And apparently Bruce doesn't like this record at all, because there is that one clip on YouTube, that interview. I don't remember for what it was recorded. I think it was some documentary about Brian Wilson probably, and he talks about this album and says that it got to number 150 or something on the Billboard, but it should have been like 500 or something. He's like very somehow, like, I don't know, just somehow really seems to dislike Friends, and but I'm not sure what the other members thought of it at that time and later on. I mean, it seems almost like this forgotten piece of work. I know Brian really Brian really likes this. I mean, he has often said that this is his favorite album with Summer Days and Summer Nights and 15 Big Ones and Love You. Yeah, I mean, if you ask Brian's favorite album, I think he almost always says one of those four. Yeah, I believe Murray was asked to sing because Mike was in India. Okay, that makes a lot of sense actually. Yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Mm, let's kind of go through with this track by track. Meant for You. I really dig the actual album version, which is like the 40-second long. It works really well for a song that short. I mean, I mean is one other sentence that I really need to concentrate not to say it too often. Peltsi Canu, Ona. Welcome, welcome to my English exercise part 35. Mm, but anyway, this Meant for You alternate version with the extended ending thing, makes it actually. Here you go. It makes it actually more of a song instead of just this demo intro thing. But still, if you'd ask me, I think they made the right choice for choosing just the intro, the short version to the album, because it just flows better, in my mind at least. I haven't tried listening to the thing with this alternate version instead, but yeah, I think it's Mike's one of Mike's best vocals, definitely. And I wish there was more of singing by him with that kind of style. Hello, ladies and playboys. Yeah, Bruce made that uncomplimentary remark during the Brian Wilson Songwriter 62-69 DVD. Yeah, I thought it was that one. Yeah, I got that DVD too. Um, but then these backing tracks like from the Friends title track and Be in the Morning, and especially When a Man Is a Woman, and let's see, what was the one I was thinking about? Transcendental Meditation. But yeah, all this stuff is just with the Beach Boys. It's fun because when you listen to the song itself, the released track, and then you can take the vocals out and listen to the backing track, and the song becomes another song. It's not like your typical rock song or pop song where you take the vocals out and you just get this, you just get this skeleton, and you can, okay, this is that song. It's like, but it's missing this, and it's nice, but I wouldn't really listen to this again. you know but with these Beach Boys tracks like Friends backing track, whatever, yeah, this is the English channel, so that is why I'm speaking English. Get the fuck out of here, you're on the wrong channel. No, you're welcome here, but don't try to bombard this thing with speaking Finnish, because my brain gets completely messed up when I'm reading Finnish and trying to speak English. Yeah, Little Bird backing track. That's one highlight. Also, it's yeah. What I was trying to say is that when you take the vocals out of a Beach Boys track, that the backing track just becomes a song itself, and with a lot of songs, just the a cappella vocal tracks become another song as well. Like you can listen to the same song with, they're just so much full of stuff, and you hear different things when you separate them. And it's like, I don't really wanna like talk crap about other acts or anything, but like I wouldn't listen to, let's say, like Nirvana a cappella, you know, tracks. You know, I mean, like, what's the point? I mean, somebody might get a kick out of it, whatever, but stuff like let's see, let's find some good example. Like Annalie the Healer a cappella. That's just so cool. That's really cool. You can really hear the voices and all the parts. It has beautiful backing vocals and everything. It's just, it's cool. It's cool. Yes, yes, yeah, that's right. Like both the backing track and the vocal track are just magical. It's and when you combine them, then you have another thing. It's great. And actually I said this to one of my friends when this thing was released, and I was really excited when I was listening to this the first time, and I said to my friend that if I ever get a chance to make a film with a real budget, you know, like a real film, with a real budget, with a musical budget, I'm most definitely gonna use this stuff as the soundtrack, especially the instrumental tracks and the demo things. And I was just before I started this stream listening to My Little Red Book and Away, which Away is like 57-second long. Just this snippet thing, this instrumental thing. And it's very interesting, it's very beautiful, very moody stuff, and I can totally see these tracks on a film, you know, in a motion picture soundtrack. It just works so well. And Rock and Roll Woman, the Buffalo Springfield cover without any lead vocals or anything, that's very cool too. That could be in a film. Each of these, it's like, and if you'd play this stuff in a film, in a motion picture released in cinemas, people would be like, what is this music? Like, this is really cool. I'm serious. People would go crazy. They would be like, what is this? I gotta find out. And then they'd see that in the end credits that it's the Beach Boys, and they'd be like, what the hell? Like, are you serious? Because this stuff sounds like some modern indie kind of hipster group, but in the best possible way. It really is very, very current, you know, and because it's timeless, it's not dated at all. And these vocals and these tracks, they don't sound like they're from the 60s, like, not at all. It's just really great stuff. And it's kind of sad that there's so much great demos that they didn't follow up or finish. And Brian obviously is disappointed, or what's that word? Anyway, isn't like, is regretting that. I mean, he's always saying in interviews, if people ask what he's like, which are his biggest regrets, he always says taking drugs and not finishing the songs. And he's always saying, like, for younger musicians and songwriters, that finish the songs, you know, don't make them like don't just make them halfway through, just, you know, follow them through. And, you know, I mean, he has, as we can hear here, he has like a bunch of great demos. He came up with chord progressions and ideas for lyrics, but then it just I don't know, for some reason he abandoned them and never finished them. It's cool to hear them in this unfinished way, but, you know, there's just a lot of potential that was never really fully followed, so that is sad. Yeah, a film would be a great way to promote the unknown music. Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure there's even been some cases of that in the late few years. Like there was Love and Mercy, even though it was a cover recorded for the show by some, I don't know, whoever, but there was Love and Mercy played in The Walking Dead, some finale episode, just like 15 seconds, but you could immediately no, you immediately noticed the tune, even though it was a cover. But even that really boosted, at least in some ways, the original version, because it's a popular show, and then after that, even you went to listen to it on YouTube, the original one, there was a lot of comments saying The Walking Dead brought me here. So that kind of stuff really works, and the Beach Boys music, the solo stuff and the band stuff, and the unreleased stuff, especially the stuff that is not very well known, is very much usable and really fits greatly in films. And especially Dennis Wilson tracks are something that would just, it's very cinematic stuff, like they say in the, I don't remember who says it, but I think somebody said it in regards of the real Beach Boy documentary, the BBC thing, that when they started to wanted to play the music from Pacific Ocean Blue and Bamboo, that they realized that it's very cinematic stuff, and there's these scenes where they show the beach and the sunsets and stuff like that with the music, and it's really majestic in a way, even though it's minimalistic, but it's really like this. Like I think it's Bruce Johnston actually who once said about Brian Wilson's music that something like he should have been like John Williams. Isn't it John Williams that Star Wars and etc. composer? I'm sorry, I need to check this up so that I don't talk nonsense. I'm pretty sure it's John Williams. Yeah, he said something like Brian should have been like the next John Williams or something like that. And I agree. I mean, and their stuff is just it's so rich, and it's very. I mean, even though the songs itself are just these tiny pop songs most of the times, there is just so much happening that you could expand it, and even as it is, it really works when you put it with the right image and images. I don't know. I mean, it's not like I'm not saying that the music itself is lesser, but maybe what I'm saying is that this music is in a way very much underused, I think, in film world. But there's been these cases like Baby Driver. I think it came 2 years ago, which was a very successful film. It included music from Pet Sounds and Let's Go Away for a While, I think, was in that one. Yeah, I mean, I think Brian would have been like a great film composer. I mean, yeah, and I think it would have been really easy for him, at least at his high best times when he was really active and doing a lot of stuff. He would have really made some great stuff. Let's see, where was I? I started rambling on some weird stuff. 23 minutes already. Oh my god. It's past the midnight already. Let's try not to wake up the neighbors. Yeah, I was talking about actually transcendental meditation, or was gonna talk about that next. Not meditation itself, but the song Transcendental Meditation. It really works well. It's actually a very menacing song when you listen to it. Listen to the backing track, only the instrumental track. It's actually very scary, and I like it more as an instrumental track. And I do like the Finnish track as well on the album, but I just hope it would have been. I mean, it's just out of place in the running order of the album. It's weird that it comes as the last one. I think it should have been like in the middle or something. But whatever. I wish there would be a version which would be mostly instrumental, but then there would be the weird backing vocals. The I can't sing, but you know that part. That would be included with the backing track. And I know now that we have the a cappella version too. You can just do it yourself. You know, include them with the backing track. But I wish they would have released that kind of version on this set. Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, I kind of was gonna say that. I mean, that's been my other thought, that it kind of is the perfect closing because it comes right out of nowhere. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with that, but in the same time, it's like because Diamond Head, which if I remember correctly is the one before that one. I correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Diamond Head is the second to last track on Friends, and I just think that sets. I mean, that is an epic track on itself, and it would have been a great closer. Uh, without the transcendental meditation, but whatever. I mean, yeah. But anyway, transcendental meditation. It's very jazzy thing. It's very weird, even for the Beach Boys. I really dig it, and especially that track would be really great in a movie, especially the instrumental one. I mean, I can completely imagine it in some strange, horrific, or just weird scene, something weird happening. I'm serious. I'm really serious. It would be very cool. Let's hope Quentin Tarantino uses some of this stuff in the upcoming film of his, which is set in 1969 and has something to do with Charles Manson stuff. So maybe he'll be cool and use some of the Beach Boys stuff, because that would really bring a lot of attention to this music and bring a lot of new fans, which in my opinion would be really great, because then it would mean that we would be getting more stuff. We would probably get physical release next year or something like that. Maybe a new album. Oh, okay. I read TM sounds menacing to represent the craziness of life, which can be calmed by practicing TM. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because I always kind of felt it was weird combination with the lyrics and the music, because they are like completely opposite. I mean, the music on that track is just, I mean, it gives me anxiety and all kinds of things. So and the lyrics are like very very happy and peaceful or whatever. But I'm not really sure about transcendental meditation itself. I once actually went to this beginner course thing, like this, because I think it's like 4 part. Is it 3 or 4 part? 3 or 4 part learning process or whatever. So I went to the first one, which is free, and then the next ones after that cost, at least here in Finland, I think they cost like around 400 euros, which is like, I don't know, almost $600. And yeah, I was kind of disappointed, so I didn't go forward with it. But yeah, but it was weird because this guy who teaches it in Helsinki, Finland, is I mean, he was very nice and all, but it was just so strange. The whole thing was straight out of David Lynch film, and it didn't help at all that this guy kept showing pictures of David Lynch, who is my favorite filmmaker, on this screen. I mean, it was inside his house, this old building, and the whole thing, how we got in there with my like roommate from my school, we got there to take us together, and there was nobody else, and it was like the home of this guy. He was like, I don't know, 65, and he was wearing this very expensive looking gray suit and white socks, and we had to take our shoes off. And are you serious? Because I really bet you cannot find a free TM course, because they seem to be so strict that you can't even Google the price of the course. But if you can find one, or you know, then cool. I should check that out too. But anyway, yeah, it was just so weird, and then his wife, he was like this, like the what's that word? The official teacher of TM. A person that has been qualified with some higher person. Like I believe Mike Love is a teacher of TM, and Al Jardine maybe is too, because they got the learning from Maharishi himself. But anyway, it just felt really weird, the mood and that place, and the wife of that man served us some weird tea, and it was really good tea, but let me tell you, I was so scared. I thought the tea was poisoned, because there was just they smiled like weirdly, like really weird smile, and there was nobody else. And then it kind of felt like a cultish thing, because there was pictures of Maharishi everywhere on top of the fireplace, and everywhere like these flowery pictures of Maharishi, and then he kind of tried to sell this thing with David Lynch and all kinds of other celebrities' faces, and then at the end he gave this thing, where you kind of sign up for the whole thing, and it cost, I think it was around 400 euros. And like I said, I was just a poor student at that point, so we both were we said that we really need to think this, and he was still pushing it. He was like, well, people usually sign it at this point, and he kind of like really wanted us to buy it. And then my friend asked that how many people usually come to these things, because there was like one in each month or something like that held over there. And he was like, well, this is really good that there's two right now. He was like, so it's not very popular. It's very, I guess they are kind of struggling with finding new people, at least here. But yeah, it was just, there was just something weird about it. I don't doubt that the TM itself would not work. I bet it works, but the whole thing, how he tried to sell it as it's like the best thing ever, and it's just so much better than the other meditation techniques. But what I've heard, it's mostly just like any other meditation. You just get a mantra, and then you repeat it yourself in your mind. That's what I understood, and that's what I read from that book by Brian Wilson. The Wouldn't It Be Nice autobiography thing, from the 90s, or was it late 80s? I don't remember. Whatever. I got that book, and there Brian, or Brian, I don't know, was it really Brian or what? That's a thing itself, but whatever. Anyway, there's a part where he says that the whole thing was just, he was given this mantra by Maharishi, which he was not allowed to say to anybody ever. And he actually says it in the book, and he just says something like, you were just supposed to repeat that in your mind, and blah blah blah. And I think he said later that he did it for some while, but then it stopped working or something, and then he stopped doing it. So I don't know. 400 euros for a guy giving me like a nonsense word to repeat is kind of too much. But yeah, I still want to believe in it. I guess it's giving peace and everything for a lot of people, but yeah, Yeah, just don't reveal your mantra like Brian did on national television. Yeah, then it stops working. Obviously. Uh, yeah, where was I in the actual topic? I talked like 15 minutes about transcendental meditation. But yeah. Mm, it's a weird inclusion that in the end there is Charlie's Father of the Man from 66, this part. But I mean, I'm not sure, but I think this thing is previously unreleased, or there is something new that wasn't on the Smile box set. But anyway, it's a really cool. I mean, what can you say about Smile stuff? It's just wonderful when you listen to the whole thing and it comes at the end. It's just, I don't know. There's something about it. I really love that stuff, and I love that serves up Charlie's Father of the Man. All that stuff, all those vocals and parts. It's just, there's something magical in that stuff. I cannot put it in the words. Uh, let's see. Oh, be here in the morning, darling. That is something that was playing in my head for a long time after the release of this. It's a really cool thing, and that's one of these catchy type of laid back instrumentals that I think would work really well in some film or something. But it works very well as it is also, and it doesn't really sound like a demo. I think it's almost like a finished backing track, but they just I think it's like a early version of Be in the Morning, but it's just different rhythm and a little bit different instrumentations, uh, or something. But yeah, I mean, I think they probably had another idea or something else, so they didn't use it. But it's really cool. It's really cool. Mm. Even Steven is something that I read a lot of people hype, really. I mean, a lot of people were saying that's better than Busy Doing Nothing. It's the early version of Busy Doing Nothing, and while it's really good, I still think the released Busy Doing Nothing is better. But this one is a really, really good track also. Mm. Oh, and Be Still, these alternate take things with the session excerpt, with the talkbacks and everything. That's really cool. I really love to hear all this. You know, Dennis is trying to, find the right take or the right way to sing the part. It's really nice. It's really nice to have, and it would be so cool to be able to hear the whole thing, the whole session, like to hear the whole session tapes for Be Still, for example, which is like a very tiny song. But I mean, how cool would that be to be able to walk in the studio and put the uncut tape on and just listen to the whole thing, and you can just like imagine being there. That would be something. Yeah. Be in the Morning, darling sounds like an outtake from the many moods of Mary Wilson. Yeah, I've actually listened to that album once, but I don't own it. I would really love to find many moods of Mary Wilson. The the track the cover of this the cover of the album is just weird, so weird. I mean, it has like young women or something. It's like, what? Charlie's Father of the Man was found on an AB acetate, which I think belongs to Dury Parks, Van Dyke Park's wife. Oh, okay. Yeah, so that explains why it wasn't released previously. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I really dig Even Steven. Yeah, it's a faster, which makes it a bit shorter, but it's not bad in any way, but I just prefer Busy Doing Nothing. I think it's probably because of some of the lyrics which I don't think maybe flow as good as in Busy Doing Nothing. And it also might be the fact that Busy Doing Nothing has always been one of my all-time favorite Brian Wilson tunes. It's just so unique, the lyrics and the whole thing. It's very very nice. But I think that's pretty much it when it comes to the Friends. I don't know what I was doing here. I was like trying to put my my right arm actually moves. I just realized it. I was trying to put my hand like under my chin, but then I realized that the microphone is there, so it's really not possible. So it was a bit awkward. Yeah. So hey, a few words. We talked now about 40 minutes. Let's see how much we're gonna talk about this one. 2020 sessions. I Can Hear Music. This is most definitely my favorite of all these three releases. This is just filled with amazing stuff, and 2020 itself is an interesting album. I've always loved it, but at the same time I understand why a lot of people, I don't know if they dislike it, but just feel that it's not important or something, you know. Mm. You need to own the many moods. Yeah, I know. I should purchase it. I think it's not even that expensive. I once searched it in Discogs, and I think you could buy it for like, I don't know, $20 or something. Maybe I should check it out right now so I don't forget it. Let's see. Let me see. Many moods. Of 2020 is it's a hodgepodge. Yeah. Oh, it's €3. 20 for sale from €3.48. €3.48, which is like $4. Yeah, the cover is interesting, really. I mean, it's filled with these pretty women. Wow. And yeah, like I said, I think I listened to this once, and I thought it was pretty good. Let's see the prices. Yeah, United States, US. Netherlands. Okay, this one I could buy, but it's €21. What's the condition? Near mint, but sleeve is very good only. Ouch. Let's see, is there any other in Europe? Netherlands here, €38, but this is mint and sleeve is near mint. Yeah, I agree. It's very disjointed. It's weird how first we're getting this cool ass surf rock type of, you know, traditional Beach Boys thing with Do It Again, and then we get, I don't remember the track order, but then we get like country styled Cotton Fields a bit later, and then we have Bruce Johnston's emotional piano instrumental thing, and right after that we have All I Want to Do, which is hard rocking punky thing. It's weird. And then in the end, Smile stuff. But let me tell you, like there is not a single bad track in 2020. I think it's just, you know, really great material from beginning to end. And I think though that Dennis really disliked it. I think he said something like that's a embarrassment to him, and he really doesn't like it at all. But I think it's probably mostly because he just felt that it was very disjointed, and probably felt I don't know. Maybe he felt somehow bad that some of his contributions uh, didn't maybe go all the way through, as we can hear in these sessions, all these demos that he did, just amazing stuff. And maybe he was disappointed that he didn't get to finish them or something. I don't know. But I remember reading in many interviews that he really disliked 2020. Yeah, real bargain. 40 euros for Murray Wilson's solo album. The most expensive one is $130 from Japan. Yeah, not gonna buy that one. Wow, that there's United States still sealed, not a cutout. Wow, $74 mint. You should buy that one. That's pretty cool. But I want to have a one that I can play. yeah, yeah, I know. I think he said from MIU that it's an embarrassment to my life, and I hope that karma will fuck up Mike. Mike loves meditation forever. I think that's the exact quote. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it would be to me for me too. And I completely understand if you listen to Pacific Ocean Blue and then MIU, and yeah, I get it. Like I get it. They are different beasts, but I enjoy MIU. I think it's a good album. It's just really not. It's just not something that Dennis would do, I think. Yeah, but he probably said all the bad things about 2020 before MIU. Yeah, that's what I meant. That's why I don't want to buy a sealed copy, because if you open it, the value will go down. So that's why I'm not gonna buy a sealed one. I mostly just buy albums that I can listen to. But this is one that I really need to have, because I still have my mission going to purchase all the Beach Boys vinyls, all the official ones. I still have a couple missing. I still don't have the original. I don't care if it's the first pressing or whatever. I don't care about that, but I just want to have like an original pressing of it that is not a pirated copy. So I'm still missing with the original cover. So I'm still missing All Summer Long. I have only this weird German version which has a weird image on the front of it. It's actually the one that I think you sent me the link to, the album cover project thing, the PDF book, 3-part thing that you can read for free. So the guy who made it talks a lot about this particular album cover. It was the first Beach Boys album, I think, that he bought, which has this drawn image of a surfer, and then there's this weird picture of them. So, and that's All Summer Long. It's some weird music for all or something pressing, and I have that one. I bought it for like £3 once, but I would like to get the actual original cover, because it's just very cool. It's very pretty, very nice cover. MIU is my biggest guilty listening pleasure. Yeah, you don't. That's not the kind of album that you put on, in a party, or or when you're driving a car and trying to make, I don't know, trying to be like a normal human being. That's the kind of album that you play and you get weird looks from people that don't know you well enough, at least. But hey, I'm getting sidetracked. Where was I? Yeah, 2020 sessions. Highlights for me are definitely all the Dennis Wilson things. And let's see. Oh, I love that. Is it true what they say about Dixie? I have no idea what are the origins of that song? How old? I think it's some kind of old song, traditional or something. Yeah, music for pleasure. That was it. Yeah, that's it. Definitely. Yeah, I have that one. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, it's just cool to hear Audrey. I mean, she's singing really well, really well. Really nice closing track for this compilation thing. Mm. And Old Folks at Home slash Old Man River. I love the backing track version. I mean, the song itself is cool too. That's another one I don't know the origins about. Is it like an original Beach Boys tune? Because I don't think so. It sounds like some sort of traditional track. But I don't know. I don't know anything about that. But I just think that the backing track is really beautiful. It has a country feeling, really nice, but really sophisticated. This old time thing, it's just really cool. Really cool. I love to listen to that. And mm, and Bluebirds Over the Mountain. That's another track that I've always loved, the Beach Boys version. And there's always been I've always read a lot of I don't know a lot, but at least some hate towards it from the fans, that they somehow don't like it. I don't know, maybe it's the guitars or something. But I always loved it, and I love this alternate version too, or mix, and I love the it's yeah near the end, the basic track and the mono single mix. I think it's just a cool track, and it really works well. I love it. I think it's really great. Yeah, I thought so. That it must be a traditional song. It really doesn't sound like something the Beach Boys would do. But then again, it's kind of always hard to know because they wrote some really weird tracks as well, like Back Home. I mean, that's just that's not like Beach Boys track at all, but still, it's really great. Yeah, I mean, who knew that? I mean, I guess people knew, but I didn't know that Audrey could sing that well. Like, she should have been like much more, prominent. On the tracks. I don't know. Does she sing on other released tracks? At least I don't remember any. But that clip is really nice. From I just wasn't made for these times where she is sitting around the piano with Brian and Carr, and they perform God only knows, but it's just a tiny 50-second clip. It's a shame that there isn't. I don't know if there's like a longer version somewhere. I haven't seen. I just wasn't made for these times because it's really hard to find here in Europe. Mm. Stephen Foster. Okay, I need to check that out. Mm. Been way too long. That's another interesting track. There's always been a lot of hype for it, and there's a lot of hype for this 7 minute 56 second sections thing too. Yeah, Lavender from 61. Was that released? I don't think that's on Surfing Safari. Is that released on the what's the name, that compilation thing that came out some years ago? Big something. I don't remember. I don't know that well the very early recordings, but I think I've heard that. I should check that out. Yeah, in Harmony. Yeah, okay. So that's like her only recorded lead, probably, at least from what we know. But yeah, yeah, being way too long is it's definitely there's definitely something really interesting happening there, but I just don't really see the song itself. I mean, to me, it just sounds like a lot of great ideas, but it just isn't. It's for me, it's really hard to get into it. And it also might be because the first time I heard Been Way Too Long was in that Lucky Old Son. And I really love the way Brian used it. Yeah, Becoming the Beach Boys could be that one, yeah. And then there was that other thing, something big, I think, like some. I think they were other. I actually think I have that Lost and Found thing on vinyl. I'm not sure, but I might have, or then it's some other thing. I don't know. Whatever. There was some like, was it like Brian's early productions or something like that, called Big something. I don't remember. I might be completely just making up my own stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's cool to have this whole sections thing with being way too long, but I just wish they would have actually finished the song itself, because I don't know. But I really love the way Brian used it in that Lucky Old Son. It just fits perfectly with Midnight's Another Day. I had no idea that it was some old piece of melody and lyrics when I heard it the first time. So, yeah. Let's see. This alternate stereo mix of Do It Again is really cool. I really dig it. Yeah, I guess you're like, you just have so great comments always of this. Like, yeah, I agree completely. It's like the parts are just so great, but I don't know. Like, maybe that's the thing. Like, that's why maybe that's why they couldn't really like make them fit or something. I don't know. It's there is like something in there, but yeah. But like, it's definitely unfinished. It's like a lot of the Smile stuff. But even Smile, I think, is much more. It sounds much more finished the way obviously that the way that uh, it was made with the 2004 release, and then with the Smile sessions kind of following that order and all that. So it sounds much more whole, but there's something about that being way too long that just does not somehow flow. I don't know. But some of the parts are just really, really amazing, as they are also. So, Never Learn Not to Love. That's funny. That's a funny track because a lot of people don't say a word about it. It's for sure like the living members or the deceased members of the Beach Boys don't really never ever talk about it, and even like on some of the reviews you can find from YouTube, people go like, yeah, I don't want to say anything about that, but yeah, like Bruce once said of Smile, brilliant little music bites. Yeah, most definitely. uh, yeah, I mean it's like Smile is something like Pet Sounds. You kind of can talk about it forever, and kind of not at all. So I don't want to go. I don't want to really go into that. It's everything's been said, and then again, it's you know I don't know. But yeah, Never Learn Not to Love. I think it's a, I think it's a like highlight, and I'm really loving it that they released track and backing vocals and a cappella of it also. And is there even like, no? I think that's it. There's not a third version of it. And I'm really interested. Is it true? Is there really Charles Manson recordings from Brian's home studio from this period of time? Did Charles Manson actually record there? Because I've read like stories and heard stories that they recorded like an full album thing, uh, and something like Brian produced an album which I kind of don't believe. And I know Brian has stated that he didn't ever even met Manson, but that I kind of doubt if he actually was in his house. But yeah, it would be cool to know if there actually is a tape, including like full recordings of him singing and playing. Because to be honest, I actually, I mean, I haven't like listened to much of his things, but what I've heard, I actually do enjoy it. I think actually like it's cool stuff. I would listen to it. And Never Learn to Love, even though it's much more Dennis than Charles Manson. I mean, like the skeleton, the idea of the song is obviously it's a Manson track. He wrote the thing with his guitar and made up most of the lyrics, but it's definitely more a Dennis Wilson type of thing with the production and all that, and I love it. I think it's great. Yeah, like they say, love the art, not necessarily the artist. Yeah, especially talking about Manson. It's, I think it's just an intriguing thing, and I mean, I don't like. I mean, Manson is a person that I just like. It's horrible stuff. I'm not in any way a fan of him, but I do enjoy his musical contributions that I've heard of. But I mean, he was just a crazy man. And in a way, I think, in my opinion, but I'm just a nobody. I think that the Beach Boys are, at this point, kind of shooting themselves again in the leg for not kind of bringing that stuff, even especially if there is in the world something like recordings with Manson. They kind of are shooting themselves in the legs, again, to kind of bury them, because I don't know. That's history, that happened. Yeah. Dennis took a rambling song and turned it into something great. Yeah, I mean the Manson one is like it's just made up in a few minutes. It's a great demo for sure, but this Beach Boys version, which Dennis did, it's an actual song, and I really love it. I think it's really nice. Now that I'm like listening to it in my head, it's just so cool. I really love it. It's really beautiful, and the whole weird intro part that was obviously taken from the Gong sessions, which would be cool to know what that was about. But yeah, I mean, all that Manson stuff is just crazy. There was a few years ago, I think it was around the time when Mike Love released his autobiography. A few years ago, yeah. There was this one YouTube channel that I just randomly bumped into. I think somebody linked a video to Smiley Smile or something. It was this guy in his 40s or 50s in a basement, and he claimed that he's like one of the only persons that talks to Charles Manson, and he phones him very often, and he even played and he did this video where he talked about Mike Love, and it was kind of scary because then I realized that he actually, like, Charles Manson actually still has like followers. Like, what the hell, like there's still this family thing going on, and like crazy people. I'm sorry if there's a Manson family follower listening to me, but that is just really wicked stuff. Yeah, but anyway, there was just, he played like a recording where he talked, at least claimed to be talking to Manson in prison on phone about Mike Love, and they I don't know, it was just weird. I cannot remember what the channel was. It probably is still on YouTube, but whatever. It's maybe a bit off topic. Yeah, that backboard symbol, it's really experimental, because I don't think that was a technique that was used a lot yet at that point. And And speaking of the gong, it's I mean, I'm really happy that they did include it here. That part where Dennis starts to actually sing in the middle somewhere. He does his weird thing. Is he like singing about hair or something? I don't remember. Whatever. It's not a very long part, and there's no instrumentation, but his his voice is just so great. It's very much rock and roll. This really rough, but in a clean way. And it's pretty much like the only recording of that type of vocal that he ever did. And that whole part where he starts to speak like closer to the microphone is just so weird. It's like very, it makes you feel very awkward when he starts to like whisper into the microphone. But what I was like thinking when I heard that the first time was that must be the first ever known ASMR recording of any sorts, probably, like ever, because that's what it is. I mean, that's YouTube is filled with that kind of stuff these days. People go very close to the microphone and they start to talk like he does in that, and it's very cool. And I kind of felt bad when I read, I think it was on Smiley Smile, some people were like, that is crazy stuff and it should have never been released, and talking about something like it has something to do with Manson and it sounds like some dark, losing your mind stuff. But to me, it's just, a guy having fun in the studio and not meaning to ever release it, and probably if he'd be around, he wouldn't want to have that released himself. But I think it's just something fun, and it probably was just something fun, just goofing around and testing the echo chamber stuff and all that. So some people are just reading way too much into all this stuff sometimes. I think making over this, really weird interpretations. What's the word? Whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's what I like. I mean it really sounded like some modern day ASMR artists. It's exactly like how they do it. He went really close to the microphone and started to speak like you, and in this very calm voice. It was cool. It's cool. And whether I knew when I heard that the first time, my impression was that it actually like it sounded to me that it doesn't sound to me because I have no idea how it would sound, but how would I put this into words? Yeah, it should be released. It's part of the history, good or unsettling. Yeah, that's kind of like what I think too. Like at this point, when it's been like decades from this stuff, and like if there really is more of this Charles Manson stuff, I think it should be released because it's part of the history and that stuff happened, and I don't think there's no need to bury that stuff anymore because it's been long gone, and at least most of the people and the main people surrounding these things have passed away. Some fortunately and some unfortunately. So, we know what happened. So why bury it? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, I mean, well, I knew is a demo by Dennis Wilson where he just basically sings, well, I knew, and I don't know if there's even any other lyrics, but it's a very nice, nice, cool melody. And it's backed up with acoustic guitar, and I wondered like who's playing the guitar, because it's really not a way that Dennis wrote, or it's not a way that most of the Beach Boys wrote. They always wrote with piano usually, and there's really not a lot of recordings like this by them. So I kind of made up this theory in my own head that it's actually Dennis himself playing the guitar, because it kind of sounds I mean, it's good playing, but it's very basics. It's just chords, strumming, and it kind of sounds this clumsy, weird. It has this own touch, and I kind of thought that it might actually be Dennis playing. And just before I started this stream, I saw that Ed Roach had actually shared this track on Facebook, and writes here that this has got to be the one John Stebbins thinks might be Dennis on guitar. And so, yeah, I mean, it could be true. It actually could be Dennis Wilson himself playing the guitar over there. And that was my guess too, even though I have no idea how his playing sounded like. But I just got that feel, It would be cool to know who was playing guitar over there. And let's see, A Time to Live in Dreams. I am not sure if that is a track that has been never heard of before, or is it bootlegged? I don't know, but I had never heard it most definitely before this release, and that is a very beautiful track, very beautiful tune. And to me, it sounds very, very much finished, even though it's most definitely a demo because it's just keyboards and singing. But it reminds me a lot of the My Love Lives On, which was released on Made in California. That track that Stephen Kalinic wrote the lyrics to. But this is a very same type of song, and really beautiful. Should have been released. I mean, even as it is, it would have been just a great track on 2020 or even Sunflower. Yeah, Dennis has been known to play rudimentary acoustic guitar, so it could be him. Yeah, I agree. I guess it's like pretty. I think it's like pretty. If they really, as it sounds like they believe so. So I think it's like 90% sure. But maybe it's just it's maybe just impossible to prove when there's no evidence actually. But it kind of does sound like something he could have played. Oh, okay. So, yeah. I do not own that one, but I think I've listened to it, so then I must have heard it like once before, but somehow it just disappeared from my mind. But yeah, that's one of these compilation things, that CDs that I do not own myself. So, okay, that's why. Thanks. Yeah, but it's just it reminds me kind of like this John Lennon type of like Imagine, and just simple, minimalistic, very very just basic kind of how would I put it? This type of music that comes straight from your heart, and it's just there. It's just not trying to be anything too complicated or too much. It's just what it is, and yeah. And all I want to do is also one track that I wanted to share a few words about. I really dig these Dennis Wilson lead vocal versions, both of them, take 1 and take 2, and but still I do prefer the original album version with just Mike. I do prefer that. I think Mike's voice fits it better. Dennis is definitely like a bit struggling to pull it off. There's like some parts and lines where he really nails it, and then some parts where he kinda just doesn't. It's almost there, but not really. And but the lead vocal take 2, which is track 8 on this release, is pretty cool, because in the end you can hear pretty clearly the R-rated material, which is just funny. And I think that's a really cool story Um, there is, I think it's on Smiley Smile, that old story that, oh my god, I'm so tired. My names are like disappearing. Steven Desper, yeah, shared that story about recording of that sex part in All I Want to Do, and how they did it. It's pretty interesting. And I always figured if there was a movie about Dennis Wilson, there should be that part should be included, because that is just something really like thinking out of the box material. Just really interesting, like, and the way it was hidden in the track, it would be like fun to know if people knew it, like if the other band members knew of it, and and how like did the fans hear it? Because you can hear it. I have the original LP and I can hear it there. You just crank up the volume, it's there. But on this lead vocal take 2, you can like really hear it, and that's funny. And yeah, and I really love the All I Want to Do early version. That is just really hard rocking. There's something happening there that's just really kick ass. It's really cool. It's a shame that it's just a minute long. And yeah, that's something. I mean, I wouldn't. This is like the only time I would actually like say that Mike's vocals are better. Like it. I mean, compared to Dennis, I mean, all his vocals to me are just superior to like a lot of stuff out there. But on this track, I just think that Mike really pulled it, really pulled it off. Yeah, multiple takes apparently. Yeah, so it seems, or they just somehow used different part on the released one. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know, but it's. Yeah, I would actually want to hear the. It may sound weird, but I would actually like to hear the just that part separated. But I don't think that's gonna be released. I'm actually surprised that even this much was released on this compilation. Oh no, here comes the pain in the arm because I moved it too much earlier. Yeah, so because I would think that you know this stuff has to go through with Brian's and everybody's management, and it needs to have their agreements, I'm sure. So there's always the chance that something gets pulled off, and I was kind of thinking that something like this would not be released. But it's cool that it is released, and it would be cool to know if that woman is who I mean, it's probably impossible to know who that woman was, because I believe she was just picked up from the street. But if she would be alive still, it would be quite cool to hear her side of the thing. But I don't know if she's still around. Yeah. What else? What else? Welcome by. It's very nice to have a clean, almost 2 minute version of it. I really love it. Even though it's a cover, I know, but I'm not familiar with the original one. I just really love Brian's voice on it and the arrangement. Very beautiful. And yeah, oh yeah, that is something that I wanted to share a few words also. I was wondering who's the young voice, the boy doing the rapping thing, but I think it was on Brian's Instagram or Facebook, shared that nobody knows who that is, that it's unrecognized. And that's weird. Like, how's that possible? Like, who is that? Who is that boy? Yeah, that's what I thought also, that it has to be approved by them. Yeah. But there must be something that they have not approved. I mean, because like isn't there even talks, like when Made in California was released, that something like amongst the lines that Mike pulled off, "Carry Me Home," that it was too dark, and something like that. I'm not sure if that's true or false, but I just read it somewhere. But I'm sure that they've probably pulled off something, because, well, I don't know, maybe not. But I just have the feeling that they are pretty strict on what they want to release from the vaults and whatnot. But who knows? Yeah, it's weird that nobody knows who he is, because first I was thinking that it's probably like like someone like their kid or something, but I don't think any of their children was old enough at that point. And it's really interesting. It's a really interesting track because it kind of is like early hip hop, but it's from the 60s, so it's cool. But it would be nice to know who that is and what's the story of it. I actually asked it in Smiley Smile, but I don't think anybody commented on that one or knew anything. But yeah, I think this is it. My thoughts on 2020 sessions. I would just love to play some of this right now, but I can't. I'm gonna do it after I end this stream. And then just a few words of the 68 live on tour concert stuff. I still have not listened to this entirely. I've made it about halfway through. Not even halfway. Oh my god, this is long. I've made this like till like track 25, and there's 114 tracks. Oh, okay. Apparently, Mike was very supportive of Dennis' songs, although "Carry Me Home" remains unreleased. I mean, "Carry Me Home" is that like one track that I really really wanna hear released in its full clean form, because that bootleg thing that's on YouTube, and that's just horrible. That quality, it's just almost unlistenable. But the power of that song really comes through, even on that awful recording or that version. There's like somebody coughing in the background, and it's just horrible quality. But it's like one of my all-time favorites. It's really touching, and yeah. But it might take some time to get that released. But hopefully, with the Holland sessions and outtakes in a few years, we'll get that. Hopefully. But okay, that's cool to know if Mike has been like supportive with the Dennis songs, because it's in all the late interviews by Mike in the last few years that I've seen, always when he's asked about Dennis or his music, he always kind of seems to, and I mean, it seems to be a very hard subject for him still. He somehow always changes the topic and does not want to answer. Like, I think there's that one interview with that old radio guy. What's his name? I don't remember, but whatever. This guy that used to whatever. I don't remember his name. But this man interviews Mike with questions that anybody could ask him on internet. Was it like on Mike Love's own website or some Beach Boys fan forum? I don't remember. But anyway, there's this question about Dennis Wilson and Pacific Ocean Blue, and like what does Mike think of it? And in traditional Mike Love way, he just says something like, "Yeah, I wrote the lyrics to Pacific Ocean Blue, and it's a song about environment. And then some years later, I wrote this album called Summer in Paradise." And then he starts to talk about Summer in Paradise. It's like, okay, Mike, yeah, cool, nice answer. Like, wow, but whatever. There you go. Yeah, I agree. It's a bit boring to listen to this whole thing through once, because it's over 5 hours long. So yeah, and it's the same 15 tracks always, again and again. But it's pretty good. I mean, the first 25 tracks that I've listened to, the first few shows, they were really good in 68. I mean, really good. Uh, yeah, I mean, I agree there is some weird, maybe a bit too much talking in between songs, which might have been, I don't know, a bit weird or something. Yeah, Wink Martindale, that was it. Yeah, that's who I was talking about. Yes, thank you. It's a great interview. That I think it was like 45 minutes long or something. That whole thing. It's a really good one, and I bet it's on YouTube still. But yeah, what was I gonna say? It's cool to hear all this stuff from this part of the history, because 68 is not a year that in the Beach Boys history that is talked about a lot. I mean, it's a bit it's a bit how would I put it, forgotten, I guess, because we always talk about Pet Sounds and Smile, and then we talk about maybe a little bit of the early days and the TAMI show. I always say Tommy show, but I guess that's not the way to say it in English. And then maybe a little bit of the early 70s with Blondie and Ricky, and that's pretty much it. After that, it's like oldies band. I mean, that's not how I see it, but that's how I see the discussions of their history of faces. Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, it's cool to listen to the talk thingies, but in the same time, it doesn't make it easy to listen to. So I don't know, but I think it's actually on a 68 or 69. It might be actually on a 69 concert. It's on YouTube. It's a shame that I don't remember which show it was, but it was so funny. I listened to it maybe a half a year ago, and then out of the blue, Mike starts to talk about Finland, and I'm like, what the hell? It was so weird. Talking about my home country. I think he said something. It was something about cotton fields or Darling or some track being a hit in Finland. Something like that, I think. But I don't remember which one that was. Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what I meant. It's like underappreciated by the larger public that year, and I think the eye is more on the Beatles stuff on 68. But then on 70, Sunflower is very very highly regarded these days. It's gets a lot of has gotten more recognition, you know, during today, and Surf's Up is pretty well known, at least much better well known than Friends era. But it's cool that they performed in London Palladium in 68, and that there is first and second shows both on this release, because Palladium is god damn it, this arm. 69 concert on YouTube. Yeah, I think it was. I mean, I think it's like a bootleg thing. There was some channel. I'm not sure if there was even a video. I don't think so. There is that one from Paris, I think, which has a video. But then there are these few channels, few YouTube channels that upload these audience recordings of old Beach Boys shows, and the channels get taken down very fast, and the quality of the audio is not very good usually. But I'm not sure if it's still there, but I need to check it out if I can find it. But yeah, I mean, I think it was 68 or 69, but I believe it was 69, but I'm not sure. I need to check that out. But when talking about these old late 60s Beach Boys live shows, there is that one video. I'm not sure if it is once again from 68 or 69, but I'm pretty sure that it's from the late 60s. It's either Carl or Bruce that introduces a track from Pet Sounds. I'm not sure if it's Wouldn't It Be Nice or Sloop John B, but I think it's either one of those. And Bruce adds that that he thinks it's the best album that they made. And Mike does this thing, like it's on video. He does this thing like, well, I wouldn't say that, and he's like, like really like giving like this middle finger to Bruce and his comment. It's kind of sad, and it's even funnier. It's even funnier because then there is this. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Mike on this 2012 interview. I think it's one of those snippets. I think it's one of those snippets that the Beach Boys official channel is filled off with, those promotional snippets where they talk about Dennis and Pet Sounds and Smile, and I think and then it's the interviewer or somebody says that Dennis said that Smile is so good that it makes Pet Sounds stink or something like that, and Al Jardine says like, yeah, I think he's like he's like had something, he's in the it's not like bullshit what he said. And then Mike is like, no, but putting down Pet Sounds, like it's like, well, come on, let's see a flashback to your past, Mike Love. What did you say about Pet Sounds in '69? Whatever, rewriting history. I mean, I don't have anything against Mike or anybody, but I just don't like that rewriting thing. Like it's just you cannot really. I mean, to anybody who has made a long career, you can try to rewrite history and that kind of stuff, but it's not gonna work. We know how things went, and it's written down. You can find it. It's documented. So there you go. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Yeah, Paris 69 show. Is that the show that's also on like video, and then they state that Murray is in the audience? Is that the one? I think it is. But yeah. And hey, one other thing. It has nothing to do with anything that I just said, but yeah, yeah, true. Revisionist, yeah, that indeed. Yeah, it has nothing to do with anything that we just talked about here, but it was once again Ed Roach who, on Facebook, he posted something that has something to do with the Blondie Ricky. Oh, I think he posted that. Oh man, yeah, now it all comes back to me. That video from BBC where the Beach Boys perform "You Need a Mess of Help to Stand Alone" in the studio with the backing track and doing the vocals live. And there's Daryl Dragon playing keyboards, and that was a really sad thing that he passed away too. I mean, he was always like my favorite. Like I thought he was like the coolest touring member of the band. He just had this cool look and really seemed like a professional. and I believe he was with Bruce. He was one of the first ones to kind of teach some chords and playing to Dennis, like some little things, and then he picked up on that. But that was a really sad thing that he passed away. Just great musician and composer. But anyway, what I was gonna say is that Ed Roach shared that clip with them playing "You Need a Mess of Help to Stand Alone," that cool clip with the great quality, and said something like, "Oh man, I mean, something like this era was just so cool with the band," and then I commented on that something like, "Yeah, I agree. I think I my one of my biggest dreams is that someday there would be a release of a full professionally shot concert video film thing with Ronki, Blondie and Ricky, and released, a professionally shot filmed concert of that early 70s period, which is like so cool. I think the band was the best with Blondie and Ricky, 72, 73. That is just, I mean, that live album is probably my all-time favorite live album. And he answered to that with just a one sentence. You might be coming in. You might be. That's something like there might be a surprise coming for you, or something like that. Like he definitely knew that there actually is. Because I've always thought that there is not a single professionally shot concert with that era group performing. But the way he answered to that was that he knows that there is, and there may be something coming up sooner than later. So I got really excited of that. He didn't say anything else, but he just kind of teased that there is something, and something's happening. So I mean, I really hope that in the next few years we'll get concert thing, a filmed concert, not just audio. I mean, I love audio. I mean, that's the main thing. But I just wish there would be more filmed concerts with the group, because there are so little, so few. Even from the tour from 1980, the Nebworth concert, there must be like more stuff filmed, and the Washington DC concert, that would be a great thing to have with a better quality. The YouTube quality is pretty good, but it would be cool to have if there is a better quality version somewhere. But there must be a lot of stuff, shows and that kind of stuff, film reels and tapes lying somewhere that has never seen the light of the day. And if there really is something from the early 70s, that is really cool. If they really make a good release on something like that, I think that would really be like a pretty good seller. I really think if people just get a glimpse of that, they want to see it. I mean, really. I mean, even people who are not Beach Boys fans would like to see it. They really would like, if it's sold properly and sold well. 76 Anaheim concert, is that the first one with Brian for a few years? Is that the one? Is that the one that's like that has like some clips of it on that 15 Big Ones Good Vibrations tour DVD, or that special, the TV special? I think that's the one. Because yeah, I mean, I think that there's a lot of material that they shot for that TV special, but they probably shot the whole show, and some other shows maybe too. So there must be like unreleased stuff, like the full concerts and all that. So yeah, I agree. I mean, and even like with Chicago, that tour from, was it 74, 75? I would think that there's like stuff that was filmed maybe, but I don't know if there's anything released. I haven't seen anything, at least. Maybe some clips, but That would be cool to see. And I'm sure there is stuff that was filmed. I mean, there must be. They've been performing for freaking I don't know, 50 plus something years, and with the original members 20 years or something. So you'd think that there is unreleased concerts. And I would just love to see concerts with all the original five, and especially with Dennis and Carl. I mean, that would just be so nice. Okay, yeah, yeah, one of the first with Brian. Yeah, yeah, I agree. It would be cool to the full thing. Yeah, it would be really cool. I think is that the one where the in the TV special thing they play it. It's okay and something. Yeah, I mean that's really cool. Yeah, I would love to see that as well. And all those things. Those concerts from 76, 77, and even later 70s. I think the band was really good. I mean, for what I've seen. And there is that one clip that is on, I think it's on Endless Harmony, the documentary. It's like 2 second clip from a show from 77, I think, or 78, where I think Ed Roach shared a story of that particular show on Facebook or Smiley Smile or something, that he remembers taking with Dennis and Brian cocaine. Uh, was it like during the encore? And they took cocaine and then and went back to stage. And then there's this 2-3 second clip on the documentary where Brian is with the bass and he has this coolest position ever. He's standing with his legs spread and he's jumping and like, oh, like he's screaming. This is like, I want to see that show. Yeah, because it's a very good quality. So there must be more. Probably the full concert must be filmed, but they just use a few second clip in the documentary. Yeah, with Brian jumping around with his bass, it's so cool. He's like he has like a like he seems like Flea or something from Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's really cool. He's really into it, like really. I think it's probably on YouTube too. Mm, yeah, I think it's probably on YouTube somewhere. I should try to look it up. It's really cool. Uh, yeah, and I think Ed Roach is now finally making a book, and I really want to read that one. And there's gonna be a lot of probably a lot of unreleased photos and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really looking forward into that. And there's gonna be a new version, updated version of David Marks's book, The Lost Beach Boy, which is a really great book. I have that one too, and I read it many years ago. Yeah, Brian's on fire. Yeah, or on cocaine. And you can see Dennis on the background on the drums, and he's also going crazy. But he was always going crazy. So, but it's really funny. And man, I really just wish I could have seen a show like that. But if there is, and there must be more of that footage, I really want to see it. And even that show, I'm not sure if it's the last one, but one of the last shows with Dennis is that one that I think is completely filmed, and there is also those few parts that were used in the same documentary, and it's also used in the Real Beach Boy documentary, that tiny bit where he sings "You Are So Beautiful" with this really rough, low, silent, almost silent voice, and it's really touching. And he's just really like proud. I really love the way he always said the Beach Boys. He's like so proud of the whole band. It's so touching, and and it's one of the last shows that they did together. So I believe it's completely filmed. So it would be cool to have it released as well someday. But I don't know why they're keeping that kind of stuff just in the walls, and what's the problem? I mean, because I've read that there's I'm sorry that I'm looking over there. I should try to look over there, but somehow my brains work better when I look sideways from the camera. I don't know. I'm scared of the camera. I've read, and a lot of times you face these arguments that the reason why all this live material and interviews and all this stuff isn't isn't released is because the rights are on or are owned by the TV channels all over the world, and that kind of stuff. But these TV channels are not making any money with this footage. I'm sure that they would sell them for the company to be able to make a release, like a compilation thing, or box set, live concert, whatever, through the years, some huge thing, or smaller releases. Like, what are they gonna do with that stuff? Nothing. They're not gonna get any money if they are just sitting in the vaults. So I don't think that's a valid argument for the for the reason why this stuff has not been released. And by the way, hey Marcus, yeah, how about the 78 Australian concert? Yeah, I want to see that. Yeah. It's funny. It's funny. Carl is really, really at his best. I'm not sure if this works. This is a Finnish TV channel media. But there's an interview with Mike Love from, it says 2006, but I think it's from the 90s. I'm not really, 93, yeah, it's 93. I'm not sure if you can see it, but I'm pretty sure that you or nobody has not seen this, because it's an interview made for Finnish TV, and you can only find it here. So I threw the link to the chat, and if you are interested, you can, try to see it. It might be blocked in other countries than Finland, but if it is, you can, do magic and maybe. But it's a good interview. There's like 3 clips. It's 14, 20. It's like there's 4 clips, and it's like 30 minutes long. Recorded in 93 when they were performing in Finland with Carl Wilson. And yeah. And I heard it was a really great show. They did this free concert in Helsinki city outside park summer, and yeah, TV rights is a reason probably why we don't have good vibration from Central Park. Are you like serious, or is that sarcastic? Like, I don't know. Like, but like why would not the TV companies want to release that stuff? I mean, they could sell it to the record company or Brother Records or something, and then they would, or make a deal like together and release it. Like, why not? They're not making any money when they're just sitting on it. So I just don't see that problem. But then again, what I know, so I might be completely wrong. But yeah, if that works, that's cool. Because yeah, I mean, they made this big concert. I was born in 93, so I was like 5 months old when they did this and when this interview was recorded. But they did this really big show in the center of Helsinki in this park, and it was a free show, and a lot of people came there, like tens of thousands, and there are a few photos of it, and I think there was floating around even a video of it, and I think I have it somewhere downloaded. Somebody in the audience had filmed it from like 300 meters away, and it was just a great show. The whole audience was into it, and even Mike remembered that years later, I think in 2011 or something, when his band was in Finland, he gave another interview, and he was asked what they remember about Finland, or what he remembers about Finland, and he said that from the 60s gigs that they did, he doesn't remember anything, but from the 93 show he remembered a lot. He said that it was like one of the highlights or something. It was one of the, the last times that Carr was with them, and he said something like they spent a few days in Helsinki and had a lot of fun and that kind of stuff. And I thought that was just really cool to me, because I've never been able to see them here, and they just came here a few times. So they always go to Sweden. Those stupid Swedes, they always get all the cool musical acts and we get nothing. Shame on you, Swedes. Yeah, same with the concert from Crystal Palace 72 with Blondie and Ricky. Yeah, that's true. I think I've seen or heard some clips from it. But yeah, that's really cool stuff too. Man, yeah, I really wish they'd release them. Maybe someday. Maybe someday. But yeah, I think this is it for this time. I'll try to make another one tomorrow, maybe the same time. It's pretty late here. It's getting 2 a.m. already, so maybe a bit earlier. Let's see. But thanks, hey Marcus, and hopefully we'll get this channel growing slowly. I don't know how, because I don't know. This is not maybe the most viral content, but I would be cool if we'd get 1,000 subscribers. We're getting new subscribers like every day almost, so it's rising. It's slowly rising. So we'll see. But hey, it was really cool to discuss with you about this stuff, and I'm sure we are getting somewhere with this. So yeah, I think we're done. Are we done? I think we are. I think I covered everything. Yes. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time. And thanks, Marcus. Yeah, you are really, really smart. I think you know like a lot more than I do. You should be doing these videos instead of me. But yeah. Yeah, thank you. No problemo. Hey, we'll see you again next time, and have a good day or night, whatever. And if you watch this later, please write a comment, because I will read every comment and try to answer them. And if you have anything like requests and whatever, just write them down, and we'll take notice. Bye bye.